This is the Timon Marsh on the north end of North Beach, which is adjacent to the eco park improvements that the city is currently making. So you can see this is there goes a pelican. Super low tide right now, which drains a lot of the water out of that. You can see if I can zoom in a little. There's a culvert over there on the far side, right on the other side of that white bird. And that's where the water comes in and out of this marsh from the Rincon Canal across the way. And I guess I'm shooting this video just to show how many birds are here. And even though there's very little water here, still, this is when the birds can feed the easiest because it gets really shallow and the fish that are here get trapped in the shallow water, and it makes it much easier for the birds to feed on them. As the water comes through that culvert and then at a higher tide, as the tide goes out, the water goes through that culvert, and then as the tide comes in, it comes from the Rincon and feeds this culvert with water from the bay, largely Nueces Bay, because the Rincon Canal is attached to Nueces Bay. This is also where the canal that the city is building for North Beach, the drainage canal called the Linear Parkway, right in this area is where that water will be draining into, because this is an existing kind of a retention pond, or it acts as a retention pond. And the water will be able to, if at a time of high water, it will be able to go through that culvert and into the Rincon Canal on the other side of the highway. So the Timon Marsh is a super important place for many reasons. One is it's a feeding ground for a lot of these birds. A lot of these birds during nesting season nest really nearby, right on the other side of the highway, which is right over there by the lighthouse. Just on the other side of that, out in Nueces Bay, there's a rookery, which is an island that's set aside for the birds so that they can safely build their nests and lay their eggs and hatch and rear their fledglings. So this is important feeding grounds. Plus, it's how we get the water off of North Beach through the new drainage plan. It all goes through that culvert, and I think there's one more culvert. And so this is an area that's of great interest. Also but unfortunately, the eco park itself does not extend over to here. I'm standing in a bird watching area right now. It looks like this. Here's the sign. So you can see it's really weathered. There's no more educational signage. This is an old birdwatching platform that was built in the 90s, that the hope was to have the eco park build onto this and create boardwalks all along this area to allow people to birdwatch in this real important birdwatching area. But so far, during phase 1 at least of the eco park, all the improvements are way over there, nowhere near this important wetlands.